1 Thessalonians 4:12. It says that ye may walk honestly toward them that are without. Going to the word without. Without says out of doors.
Well, out of what doors? what door? I am the door.
Yeah.
Yahweh said, I am the door.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Yeah, outside of the doors.
Outside, so those who don't have the knowledge of Mashiach Yahweh Shai.
That's right.
Which Mashiach Yahweh Shai is the savior of Israel. You know?
Yep.
Pertaining to scripts.
So out of doors, out of the gate, you know, all of those things.
Which Israel really represents the spirit, moral uprightness. That's all Israel represents. So Yahweh Shai came to save those who are morally upright.
That's right.
That's right.
Let me get this one.
This Revelation chapter 22 and verse 15. For without are dogs and sorcerers and whoremongers and murderers and idolaters and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie.
And it just said the word without. It said without and out of doors. Yeah, so it's like those people, our people have heathen minds as well. Heathens have heathen minds, and our people have heathen minds.
Yeah, let's read it one more time. This Revelation 22 and 15. But for without are dogs and sorcerers and whoremongers and murderers and idolaters and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie.
Yeah, without what? Without of the doors.
Right.
You know? So it's talking about those people that make it a lie, those people that have heathen mindsets are the ones that are without.
And we're supposed to walk honestly towards them. If you honestly goes into sincerely or virtuous or truth.
Right.
You know, with the spirit of truth, basically. Bring the spirit of truth unto those who are without.
Yep.
You know, represent me well.
Right.
You know?
Right. Aren't they supposed to see that you're such a wise and understanding people? You know, those that are without. You know what I'm saying?
It's Matthew chapter 5 and verse 46. For if they love them which love you, what reward have they? Do not even the publicans the same? And if they salute their brethren only, what do ye more than others? Do not even the publicans so?
So what Lord Yahweh Shai was doing was just reiterating, they were reiterating what Lord Yahweh Shai taught, which is increase more and more. You're supposed to increase more and more, you know? Not just love those that love you. And usually the ones that love you is the ones in your circle, the ones that are your neighbor. Those are the ones that are loving you. So we're supposed to increase more and more.
Jumping back to 1 Thessalonians 4, and I'll read 10 again. And indeed, ye do it toward all brethren, which are in all Macedonia. But we beseech you, brethren, that ye increase more and more, and that ye study to be quiet and to do your own business, and to work with your own hands as we commanded you.
That's right. So you study to be quiet. Verse 12.
Verse 12. That ye may walk honestly toward them that are without, and that ye may have lack of nothing.
Right, so that you may walk honestly for those that are without. That you may walk honestly toward them that are without, and that ye may have a lack of nothing. So when it's talking about those that are without, it's talking about people that are outside of the temple, or people that are.
All right, Shalom. This is Har 1 by Yasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp. I want to say Kal Halayim La Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Harakah Kodash Ma'amah. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders, and Shalom to you Akim and Akwatim and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. This right here, man, I never saw these guys before, I gotta admit. This guy looks familiar right here, you know, but I've never seen these guys before, all right? And the reason I'm gonna title them Dumb and Dumber, because I believe I don't know why I can feel it, but I feel like this guy here was familiar with the doctrine, and he changed it or something. I don't know, but I could be wrong. It just seems like it. And they both two novices that's being puffed up, lifted up. All right, from my examination. Could they be sincere? Hey, who knows? But they sincerely off. So let's get a couple scriptures just to open it up. Because they brought out 1 Thessalonians 4 and 11, and they were saying that meant you're supposed to love Esau, and love the heathens. And that's not what that means. All right, First Thessalonians 4 and 11 was not talking about Jake loving Esau. All right, and speaking to Esau and greeting them and all that shit. You know, scriptures do say, be peaceable with all men. You know, be wise as serpents, harmless as doves. So you don't be a criminal or, causing victims on this earth. Jude 1 and 3, Beloved, when I gave all diligence to write unto you of the common salvation, it was needful for me to write unto you and exhort you that ye should earnestly contend for the faith which was once delivered unto you, unto the saints. All right, so we're contending for the faith, man. That's what this is, a spiritual battle. You know, because you got people out here that could easily be a stumbling block and could cause the new brothers that come into this truth. That's why the scriptures say Satan desires to sift you, man. And these two right here are part of that stumbling block that can cause our people to stumble, man. And fighting so hard and have come so far, and then some idiot believes these guys. You know? You look on their comment board, you got people commenting. What the hell's wrong with these people, man? Emotional and unlearned. So they easily taken advantage of. Verse 4, For there are certain men crept in unawares, who were before of old ordained to this condemnation. See, this is all part of the process. So they crept in unawares, and now they some damn super prophets saying that we're kicking against the pricks, saying that the elder apostles are kicking against the pricks. They are some pricks, right? So it's funny they call themselves pricks, but anyway. It says, so they were before ordained to this, man. Ungodly men. Like they getting edge ups too. I don't know, I can't tell. Ungodly men, so not spiritual. Turning the grace of Yahweh into lasciviousness and denying the only Lord Yahweh and our Lord Yahweh Shai, so they're denying the truth. All right, by denying the truth, they're denying the Lord. All right, let me get this real quick. Second Peter 2 and 1. But there were false prophets among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you, who privily shall bring in damnable heresies. So they creep them damnable heresies in there. Heresy just means something that somebody made up, and it was carried on over time. People believe it. It's basically a fable, all right? False doctrine. So they're bringing in damnable heresies, man. Even denying the Lord that bought them and bring upon themselves swift destruction. See, even though they're calling out, even though they're calling out in the Lord's name, that's right. This is Matthew 7 and 22, because you hear them calling out Yahweh's name, but they're not giving honor to the elders. Everything, I'm gonna do a lesson on that too. That was from the beginning of this video. Yeah. It says, many will say to me in that day, no, verse 21, not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven, man. The Lord said that, what? He seeketh such to worship him in spirit and in truth. So they're not doing the will of the Lord, man. Who is my mother and my brother besides those that do the will of Yahweh? It's about his will, teaching his truth. All right, not changing the doctrine. You know, verse 22. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name have cast out devils? And in thy name done many wonderful works? And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. All right. So that's what they're doing. They're working iniquity. So the Lord gonna reject them in that day. All right. They're ordained for it unless they repent. All right. So this is 1 Timothy's 3. And 6. Not a novice, lest being lifted up with pride, he fall into the condemnation of the devil. See, they've been ordained to that, man. A novice means they're a new recruit. All right, a new member. And see, they're being lifted up. They're lifting themselves up. And pride. And they're going to fall into the condemnation of the devil, the deceiver. That's why they're being deceived, all right? You know? So, that's right, man. So I'm going to get on to the point now. All right? I got one more precept. Isaiah 8:20. To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. Now, let's see. Let's judge their doctrine. Let's go to 1 Thessalonians 4:11. That's the scripture they brought out to say that we're supposed to speak. And, you know, they try to say, yeah, even the publicans do so. They don't speak to people, you know, because they feel like they're better. Or the publicans was known as some, the publicans was known, they might have been, a lot of them were good people, tax collectors and stuff like that. Then you had, I think, who was that? Matthew? I could be wrong, but it was one brother that the Lord told him to, if you're gonna be a collector of taxes, or you know how to do it, you know, don't rip nobody off and shit like that, because a lot of those publicans or the tax collectors, they would be, you know, ripping people off. They were known for taking money for the Roman Empire, however you look at it. And if you get taxes today, if somebody one of your own people come and collect taxes, you call them a sellout. All right. So that's why it was a beef between the publicans and the circumcision, you know, and the people in the truth, the church. So the Lord was saying, hey, even the publicans don't speak to people, so we're supposed to greet our brothers. Yeah, you can, at your job, you're going to talk to people. That's not a sin. You know, you're talking to Esau if you're communicating with a damn African. You know, we're sitting here as sheep amongst wolves. And you never want to cause a chaotic environment for yourself unless it's for this truth. You know, according to the Lord's way, he told us, wisdom crieth without the streets. So that's what we get them back at. That's our fight. All right? But when you walking around Esau, you speak or something, or they speak to you, you're not evil or wicked because of that. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, man, so he tried to use that scripture and tie it and peg it to 1 Thessalonians 4:11. Let's get that now. See, it has nothing to do with the other. All right, this 1 Thessalonians 4:11. This is the one he brought out. No, he started from 9. But as touching brotherly love, ye need not that I write unto you, for ye yourselves are taught of Yahweh to love one another. All right? So they're being taught through the Spirit. This was the church that was over there in Thessalonia. All right? And Paul loved them. And he loved them so much that he sent Timothy out there to deal with them and to encourage them in the faith. But he still had to correct them and tell them how to, you know, give them the rules. But it had nothing to do with speaking to the people. And I'm gonna read it. You know, Because they just didn't break it down right. And indeed, ye do it toward the brethren which are in all Macedonia. But we beseech you, brethren, that ye increase more and more. See, they like, yeah, increase, you're supposed to increase more and more. More and more. Again, man, you get mad at the sickness, not the sick. All right? But you can increase more and more. That means as a church, man. Boom. Increase more and more as a church and in the spirit of truth, meaning growing as a body. It doesn't mean increase more and more and start welcoming Edomites. You know, start welcoming the damn Moabites. All right? So, yeah, you're going to be out. You can't go out and say, hey, you know, that's why scriptures say, let both grow together, the wheat and the tares, you know. So at the end, the angel's going to do the reaping. You know, these two guys here, they're spiritual tares. So, now it says here, but we beseech you, brethren, that ye increase more and more. Yeah, you're going to be kind to the Gentiles, the Israelites that are scattered. You're not going to boast against the branches. You know, that was part of the message. Not to boast against them, not to take money from them because they're coming into this truth. That's what a lot of people doing today, taking money from people because they feel like they did something special. No, we got this gift given to us. So who are we as messengers to take from the people? Yeah, the Lord said, don't muzzle don't muzzle the mouth of the ox that treadeth out the corn. Meaning, yeah, they're gonna be taken care of. People gonna have alms, you know, and resources, and it's the prophet's right to ask for the help from the people. But the Lord sent people like Paul and them to the earth on a different mission, saying, yo, you know, matter of fact, I'm gonna get that. That's right, man. Hold up. All right, so again, they were using the scripture to say that you're going to be kind to the Edomites and grow in that spirit of welcoming every nation. No. Paul said his teaching was to the Israelite Gentiles. That's it. Now, is he supposed to go out there and judge everybody according to their skin? No. You know, so our job is be wise as serpents, harmless as doves, sheep amongst wolves. All right, that was the message. But let me get this. Acts 20 and 35. I have showed you all things, how that so laboring ye ought to support the weak. And that's what he was telling them. He was telling them people in Macedonia, which it was 3 churches in Macedonia, in Greece. You had Thessalonica, you had the church of Berea, and then you had the church of Macedonia. All right, so he was telling them, yeah, y'all love each other, Thessalonica, Berea, and Macedonia, but you gotta love the brethren outside of there too. You know, you got brethren in other churches and other, regions. So he said, you're gonna increase, not just from that small church that was in those places. He said, yeah, I see y'all loving each other and that spirit that's on y'all, but that need to spread to these other churches. All right, and don't take from them, give. It's better to what? Labor. How that so laboring you ought to support the weak and to remember the words of Yahushua Mashiach, how he said it is more blessed to give than to receive. All right, so it's more blessed to give than to receive, right? Because that's what Paul was exhorting that church to do, saying work with your own hands, that you be quiet. That's why I laughed when this guy read that part, because he paused, he started stumbling over it because it didn't make sense. He tried to make it make sense. Like, yeah, that you study to be quiet. That means, yeah, see, you know, and work with your own hands. See, he was like, yeah, you got right, because you're gonna be kind to Esau and these nations. You gotta love everybody. Can't make this stuff up, man. All right. So let's get back to 1 Thessalonians. Make some more sense of this. Get to the point. All right. 1 Thessalonians 4 and 11. And that ye study, no, 10. And indeed ye do it. You do it toward all the brethren which are in all Macedonia. See, they showing love towards all the brethren that are in Macedonia. But we beseech you, brethren, that ye increase more and more. Meaning, show your love to your brothers that are outside of Macedonia, that are outside of Berea, that are outside of Thessalonica. Like you have more churches over there other than Macedonia. You had the Church of Berea, Thessalonica. You know, you got all these other churches, Philadelphia, and so on and so on. All right, so they were going to increase as brothers. That's what he was telling them, not to increase and now you got to love everybody. You're supposed to increase in your love on this earth. That's that Christian mindset. Love everybody. You know? When the Most High said he hates Esau, meaning he created them to be hated. That is it. Ain't no way around it. Why would he create them? He loved everything. No, he loved his works. The Most High loves his creation, meaning like a painter, or a director. He direct the movie, make the bad guy and the good guy. He's saying, yeah, all right, I perfected it. This is good. But he loves Jacob. All right, he has shown his hatred towards Esau. I have loved Jacob and I hated Esau, and even all the way to the end, he's gonna have war with Amalek from generation to generation. And these last days, he's gonna destroy Esau and set him up in slavery, and then wipe him off the earth. So what type of love? Where is the love, right? That's not love. The Lord hates Esau, man. And he created them. He said, I created the wicked for the day of evil, the bad day, to show my power on, man. Just like he did with the Pharaoh. So, you know, he created Esau to be hated. So they try to pull out this scripture in 1 Thessalonians 4, saying that we're supposed to increase more and more, meaning accepting Edomites, loving Africans, loving Chinese, Japanese. You know, that's not the message. All right, right here in 1 Thessalonians 4, Paul was telling them to love their brethren, not just the ones in Macedonia, but the ones in Berea, the ones in Thessalonica, the ones in these other churches, Philadelphia, Rome, right? All the churches. Let's get that real quick. Revelations 1 and 11. Saying, I am Alpha and Omega, the first and the last. And what thou seest, write in a book and send it unto the 7 churches which are in Asia, unto Ephesus, and unto Smyrna, unto Pergamos, and unto Thyatira, and unto Sardis, and Philadelphia, and unto Laodicea. All right, so you had churches all over the place. And you had a church in Thessalonica, Berea, and what you would call Macedonia. All right, the Church of Greece. Yeah, Israelites over there. So I don't get what these people are talking about, because Paul was clearly telling these. Let me read it. All right, so he wasn't instructing them. Paul was not instructing this church to accept Edomites. He was instructing this church to spread that love, man, spread that spirit amongst the other brethren, and to not take money from the Gentiles, the Israelites that come into the truth. He was telling them that they should work with their own hands, provide for themselves, that they won't need anything. It'd be better to give than receive, you know. First, that's right. So that the doctrine be not blamed. 1 Thessalonians 4:11, and that ye study to be quiet, and to do your own business. See, that's what he was telling them, and to work with your own hands as we commanded you. See, why? Because Paul was in that spirit. He was in the spirit of working with his own hands, providing for himself, maybe even providing for some of the church, paying off debts and shit for people. So he was telling them to be in that same spirit. All right, not going out here trying to make filthy lucre of the people like Sakari and them, like IUIC, ISUPK, GOCC, to making filthy lucre of the people, made a business out of this, man, financial business. This is supposed to be a spiritual business, spiritual money. All right, so let me get this real quick. Right, so I'm gonna read that again, but I'm gonna go over here real fast. Because we're going to have to read up a little higher on that, and it'll get more detailed. All right, and through his teachings, he has motivated the Macedonians to become like investors to provide funds for Israelite Gentiles. You know, let me read this real quick. It says here, Romans 15:21. But as it is written, to whom he was not spoken of, they shall see. All right, talking about the Israelite Gentiles. And they that have not heard shall understand. Man, talking about the Gentiles, right? Israelites. For which cause also I have been much hindered from coming to you, right? Because Paul had to teach in all these different churches before he can go to this specific church that he was about to go to. All right. Where was he going? It don't matter, but you can read that whole chapter and it give you understanding of where Paul was headed to. All right. But now having no more place in these parts, so he was like, all right, I'm done now. Now I can come to you. You know, I had to go through all this to get to you. That's what's taking me so long. And having a great desire these many years to come unto you. Whensoever I take my journey into Spain, I will come to you. For I trust to see you in my journey, and to be brought on my way thitherward by you, if first I be somewhat filled with your company. But now I go unto Jerusalem to minister unto the saints, for it hath pleased them of Macedonia and Achaia to make a certain contribution for the poorer saints, which are at Jerusalem, man. So, yep. So the people of Macedonia, they trusted Paul to give some money to the saints that were at Jerusalem. See that? All right. It hath pleased them verily, and their debtors they are. For if the Gentiles have been made partakers of their spiritual things, their duty is also to minister unto them in carnal things. So this is what Paul was telling them in 1 Thessalonians, saying, hey, you'll be in the church and y'all a body, and you have a money system going to where you have a pot, you know, with money in it, or something like that, you know, like a bank. Almost like a carpool situation, but in this truth. Then with that you can provide for a new brother coming to this truth. He lacked faith, or he lacked finances. You know, at that time it was the Roman Empire, so a lot of our people were poor, especially the Gentiles. You know, that was separating from the heathen customs, right? So Paul was telling them it's better to give than receive. and grow as a body like a baby, grow as a nation. Don't just keep it to yourself, huddled up in Macedonia. He was saying, no, you got to show that love to brothers in other churches of Israel, and that's how you grow the body. All right, so these guys here, man, sheesh, what a tangled web they weaving. Like, that shit was tangled. I heard that, I'm like, wait a minute, hold up, stop, wait a minute. All right, 1 Thessalonians 4. Wait, let me get this real quick. All right, it's 1 Thessalonians. See, the same message to these people. All right. Well, actually, I'm gonna start from 1 Corinthians 4 and 11. All right, because Paul was in that same spirit. 1 Corinthians 4 and 11. Even unto this present day and hour, we both hunger and thirst, and are naked, and are buffeted, and have no certain dwelling place. See, once you come into the truth, these things can happen. So imagine being a Gentile. We were all Gentiles. You come into the truth. You might not be, saving some person was in the rap game or something, selling drugs or doing dumb shit for money. You come into this truth, you put all that away. You might have a job, but you start to see that this is more important. You're gonna work to eat, but this is more important. All right, so you're gonna balance it out. It starts to be a balance. But so he said, what? Even to this day, man, we have no certain dwelling place and are buffeted, having no dwelling place, right? And labor, working with our own hands. So this is what he was telling them to do. He said that you work with your own hands, that you should want nothing. You're not gonna want anything if you're working, and all right, you have your own money. Being reviled, we bless. See, that is better to give than receive. So even though people was hating on Paul and them, he was still look out for his people. Being persecuted, we suffer it, man. Being defamed, we entreat. We are made as the filth of the world, and are the offscouring of all things unto this day. So Paul was telling them to be the same way. Take the persecution, and when brothers came into the truth, take care of them. Don't take money from them because they don't have anything. Most of them. All right, so 1 Thessalonians 2 and 2, it says this. For verse 1, for yourselves, brethren, know our entrance in unto you, that it was not in vain. See, he was telling them in Thessalonica and Macedonia that they should not be vain as well. Had nothing to do with welcoming Edomites and welcoming people and shit like that, and growing more and more. But even after that, we had suffered before and were shamefully entreated. As ye know, at Philippi we were bold in our God Yahweh to speak unto you the gospel of Yahweh, which with much contention. For our exhortation was not of deceit, nor of uncleanness, nor of guile. And these two guys here, their exhortation is of deceit. They're deceiving, and it's of uncleanness. It's false doctrine, and it's guile, man. All right. But as we were allowed of Yahweh to be put in trust with the gospel. So, see, Paul was telling them of Macedonia that they were put in trust of the gospel. And that they were supposed to increase, not just keep it, not just be as a light that hideth their candle under a bushel. They were supposed to put their candle on a table so that the whole house can be lit up, all right, on a stand. So that's what the message was in 1 Thessalonians 4. He was telling them to shine their light and grow as brethren and show that same love and that system of brotherhood to the rest of the churches, all right? And the rest of the Gentiles that come into the truth, Israelites. But you go to these churches nowadays in America, to join their church, you got to have money. You got to have a certain bank account. They got one here in Jacksonville named called Baptist Church, and that man, Edomites down there, they shut down the whole downtown, man, when they having their service, and they got ATM machines in there. You gotta have money to get in there. You gotta have a certain bank. You gotta have a certain you gotta be in a certain income bracket to go to that church. And that's crazy, man. See, with this, the Lord said you don't have to have money, all right? Money can't save you. For neither, okay, battery run, 57 minutes left. For neither at any time use we flattering words, as ye know, nor a cloak of covetousness, Yahweh's witness. So he was telling them, don't be covetous and don't use flattering words, lying to the people. Nor of men sought we glory, neither of you nor yet of others, when we might have been burdensome as the apostles of Yahushua. All right. But we were gentle among you, even as a nurse cherisheth her children. So being affectionately desirous of you, we were willing to have imparted unto you, not the gospel of Yahweh only, but also our own souls, because ye were dear unto us. For ye remember, brethren, our labor and our travail, all right, for laboring night and day, because we would not be chargeable unto any of you. We preached unto you the gospel of Yahweh. So that's what Paul was doing. So he was telling them people in Macedonia to be the same way. All right, be quiet and do their work. As ye know how we exhorted and comforted and charged every one of you as a father doeth his son. So he basically what? He said they were working with their own hands, that we would walk worthy of Yahweh, who have called us unto his kingdom and glory. All right. So that's right, man. So, hold on, what's this? That's right, let me get this real quick. All right, Ephesians 2 and 20. No, 19. Nope. I could read this whole chapter, but I'm not going to read it. I'm going to start from 11. Wherefore remembers that ye being in times past Gentiles in the flesh, who are called uncircumcision, right? So we're not supposed to boast against the branches, take money from them. Like, yeah, you got to get into the truth. Now you got to pay me some money. Or I can't speak to you because you're a Gentile. You're still in the world. Wherefore remember that ye being in time past Gentiles in the flesh, who are called uncircumcision by that which is called the circumcision in the flesh made by hands, that at that time ye were without Yahushua, being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel, and strangers from the covenants of promise, having no hope and without Yahweh in the world. But now in Yahushua ye is ye, not yea. This guy on this video, so like on this video, every time he see the Y-E, he say yea. It'd be like, but now in Yahushua, yea, who sometimes, ye, man, all right? Ye who sometimes were afar off are made nigh by the blood of Yahushua, for he is our peace, who have made both one and have broken down the middle wall of partition between us. What's that? Jews and Gentiles. All right, those are the circumcision that had to get called into the truth, and those are the Gentiles that had to get called into the truth. Israelite Gentiles. Having abolished in his flesh the enmity, see, the enmity, even the law of commandments contained in ordinances in the word, for to make in himself of twain one new man, so making peace, and that he might reconcile both unto Yahweh in one body by Yahweh Shai, having slain the enmity thereby, right? Because the doctrine of Paul was to go into the Gentiles, and who Paul taught in the spirit of Yahweh Shai, they were supposed to increase, all right, and go out and reach more Israelite Gentiles. And came and preached peace to you which were afar off, and to them which were nigh, all right? Those at Jerusalem, and the ones that were far off, like in Thessalonica and Macedonia. And came and preached, for through him we both have access by one Spirit unto the Father. Now therefore ye are no more strangers and foreigners, but fellow citizens with the saints, and of the household of Yahweh. See, once they come into this truth, they become fellow citizens, an inheritance, right? So they had to be taken care of. All right, you know, it was different back then, man. You would move from a whole city once you got into the truth. You know, there were people, a lot of people going to Jerusalem. Paul saying they ain't even had to do that. They could stay where they're at and have a church. You know, have a gathering of the elect in those areas, and then build and network with other Israelite churches that were in other states or provinces. That's what he was telling them, to grow in that way, not grow and accept Edomites and love Esau. Grow in love. Love is keeping the laws. You know, you're going to keep the laws anyway. Like, if you see an Edomite and his wife, you ain't going to pop her because that's an Edomite. That's still adultery. You know what I mean? You ain't going to steal from him even though he's stolen everything from us. You know, that's fair. You know what I mean? You're going to keep the laws just for yourself to the best of your ability. All right, so it are built upon the foundation of the apostles and prophets, Yahweh Shai himself being the chief cornerstone, in whom all the building fitly framed together groweth unto a holy temple in Yahweh Shai. So that was the point. Paul was telling them to grow more and more, meaning like a building in faith, grow in faith, all right? Grow as a temple, the whole building, not just Macedonia. He was saying, no, there's other churches out here. You got to grow and link up with them. And when you do, as you go, don't go taking money from them. Don't be covetous, you know. Don't cast burdens on them that they don't need. And treat the Gentiles, the Israelite foreigners that come back into the truth, like brothers. All right, love them also. Now it says, in whom all the building fitly framed together groweth unto a holy temple in the Lord, in whom ye also are builded together for an habitation of Yahweh through the Spirit. So now let's get back to 1 Thessalonians 4. And I'm going to start from the top. Now this should give you the context of the scriptures. That's what they did. They took it out of context, all right? Tweedledee and Tweedledum here. You know? Furthermore, 1 Thessalonians 4:1. Furthermore, then we beseech you, brethren, and exhort you by the Lord Yahweh Shai, I mean the Spirit of truth, Yahweh Shai's Spirit, that as ye have received us, how ye ought to walk, and to please the Most High, so ye would abound more and more. See that? That's what he wanted them to do. He wanted them to grow as a church more and more, grow in faith more and more, not grow in love towards these nations more and more. See, they took it way out of context. All right? For ye know what commandments we gave you by Yahweh Shai. For this is the will of Yahweh, even your sanctification, that ye should abstain from fornication. All right, spiritual adultery and adultery, physical adultery. That every one of you should know how to possess his vessel in sanctification and honor. All right, so he's teaching them how to be chaste. And teaching these men at Thessalonica or Macedonia, or what you would call Berea and Thessalonica and Macedonia, those three churches, he was telling them how to possess themselves, you know, how to keep themselves. Once they got into this truth, became what? Overseers, all right? Not in the lust of concupiscence, right? Basically saying greed, or, you know, personal lust, even as the Gentiles which know not the Most High, see? So we're not supposed to be moving in that spirit. And causing our people to stumble. All right? So we're not supposed to be like the world. We're supposed to change the world of Israel. We're not supposed to be like the world. We're supposed to change our people, you know? The Lord sent us into this world to change it, not to be changed by it. Verse 6, that no man go beyond and defraud his brother in any matter. See, he was teaching them how to deal with each other. It's about the brethren. He was teaching them how to love each other. Yeah, I see y'all not defrauding each other amongst the Macedonians, but you got to spread that out to these other churches. That's what he was telling them. It was so they can increase more and more. All right? It had nothing to do with increasing more and more and loving Esau. See that, man? That's the devil's in the midst of these dudes, man. A deceiving spirit. You know? Not in the lust of concupiscence, even as the Gentiles which know not the Most High, that no man go beyond and defraud his brother in any matter. Not just money, but in any matter. Because that the Lord is the avenger of all such. So if a Gentile coming to this truth, that's your brother. All right, an Israelite that comes into the truth, no matter what they look like, if they're Israelite, that's your brother. They're doing the will of the Lord. All right, because that Yahweh is the avenger of all such. You know, you be like, yeah, you just got to look at boasting against them. And then the Lord still, he'll judge somebody for that. As we also have forewarned you and testified, for Yahweh have not called us unto uncleanness, but unto holiness. See that? Here, he therefore that despiseth not man, but Yahweh, who have also given us his Holy Spirit. You know, so if you hate your brother, then you really hate the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Not a wicked nigga. I'm talking about like you just hate your brother that's just rocking in the truth, and you just despise him, or you want money from him, or they come into this truth and you looking down on them. You know, like they ain't shit. You know? But as touching brotherly love, see, now it make more sense. See, that is in the proper context. But as touching brotherly love, ye need not that I write unto you, for ye yourselves are taught of Yahweh to love one another. Why? Because the Spirit was dealing with them. All right, and they're being taught also by Timothy. All right, and Paul was saying, yeah, they're doing it correctly. He had a lot of love. Paul had a lot of love for the churches of Macedonia. They was on point. But he was telling them they need to increase that and spread it out through the other churches, all right, and amongst the Israelite foreigners. And indeed, ye do it toward all the brethren which are in Macedonia. But we beseech you, brethren, that ye increase more and more. See that? It makes sense now, right? All right, not just for the people that's amongst you, but the church that's scattered around everywhere, you know, and the Gentiles. And that ye study to be quiet. See that? Just busy in the work. And to do your own business. You know, not just because they go to those churches, other churches don't be all in their business. You go out there, you deal with them, you spread some love, the doctrine, and be an example, and you go about your business. All right, to do your own business and to work with your own hands as we commanded you, telling them, hey, just have a job or means of income so that way you ain't got to be a beggar out here begging for money in the name of the Lord. that ye may walk honestly toward them that are without. Talking about the Gentiles, all right, Israelite Gentiles, not the heathens. That ye may walk honestly toward them that are without, and that ye may have lack of nothing. See, that's what he was telling them, like, you'll just work, take care of your own self, and maybe it's better to give than to receive anyway, so that you'll have lack of nothing, and also that the doctrine be not hindered, you know? So that way when they go to different places where they were traveling amongst the churches, that he was telling them to grow and spread that spirit. He was telling them to work with their own hands, that they won't go to these churches and need anything. You know what I'm saying? So, that's right, man. I'm gonna play their video just a little bit.
Love to the next level, i.e. walk honestly toward them that are without. That's people might, you know, so them that are without is unbelievers. You know, so people might say those that are without are unbelievers. Yeah, true enough, there are those that are without that are unbelievers, but there's also
those that are without were the Gentiles, you know, and they had to come into the faith. So Paul was telling these brothers to walk honestly towards them, you know, and that's it. Just wherever you go, be willing to give more than you receive. Treat them as brethren, and spread that love amongst the churches. You know, that's it. So I really don't want to hear no more of these guys, but I'm gonna go back a little further where they make their point. Proud, man. Look at them.
It's Matthew chapter 5 and verse 46.
Go back a little further. Let's see what he's talking about.
But he's beseeching you in this epistle that you increase more and more. Why would he say increase more and more when he's talking about brotherly love? Why would he talk about increase more and more when he's talking about love among your neighbor? Because you're not supposed to stop there. You're supposed to grow more.
See that? Stop there. You're not supposed to just love your brothers as an Israelite. You're supposed to love Esau. You damn niggas. You, boy. Snuck that one in there. All right, see you on round 2.